When bad behavior is a leadership test for teens and adults. When we label teens as leaders, especially those who have been previously labeled as troublemakers, we often forget one important thing. They've been trained by experience to accept rejection. These teens have spent years pushing boundaries and being met with resistance. So when we invite them into something new, say like a leadership program, we can't be surprised when they still push. That's what they've always done. And the discomfort we, the adults, feel watching this unfold, that discomfort is the mirror of what they're experiencing. They're testing the space, they're testing us, they're wondering, what happens if I act the way I always have? Do the adults still believe I'm a leader? What about pushing until there's no resistance? Teens have been labeled in a negative way, disruptive, disrespectful, defiant. They've learned that adults will push back when they push. So when we call them leaders, they're going to push back even harder. It's not sabotage, it's instinct. They're trying to find the boundary to see if this new label really applies to them or if we'll take it away at the first sign of trouble. And this is the real test, not just for the teens, especially not the teens, for us. Can we hold space for their resistance? Can we respond differently than the adults in their past have? Can we choose not to be surprised by their pushback, but instead see it as part of their process? This approach requires that we, as adults, become just as flexible, reflexive, and growth oriented as we're asking our teens to be. The discomfort, it's mutual. When I see behavior that is traditionally labeled as bad, such as interrupting, ignoring instructions, eye rolling, or aggressive joking, my gut reaction is still to redirect it. That's what we've been conditioned to do. But if I respond in the same way every other adult has, I'm not modeling anything different. I'm showing that leadership is a space for growth. I'm not showing that leadership is a space for growth. I'm showing it's a space with even higher expectations and less tolerance for being human. And that's where things get tricky because leadership programs are often seen as a privilege, something to earn, something to respect. But when we treat leadership as a prize, we risk communicating that this is only available to those who already behave in the right way. That leaves little room for students who are still learning what leadership can look like, especially if it looks nothing like what they've been taught. Leadership isn't a reward. Frankly, it's a responsibility. If we want to truly challenge teens to grow as leaders, we have to stop viewing leadership as a reward for good behavior. Instead, we must recognize it as a vehicle for learning new behavior, a space where mistakes are part of the curriculum. When we invite students into leadership, especially those with histories of being misunderstood or dismissed, we're not asking them to immediately behave differently. We're inviting them to experience something different, an environment where they're allowed to push without being pushed away. But that shift requires us, the adults, to change how we react, to tolerate some discomfort, to sit with some tension, to resist the urge to control and instead commit to connection. Challenging teens means challenging ourselves. The real work of leadership development for teens and adults is not about enforcing rules or managing behavior. It's about building relationships that support transformation, and it starts with our own willingness to grow. We need to stop expecting our teens to act like leaders before we treat them like leaders. That means hold space for their resistance without taking it personally. Foster structure without dominance. Lead with curiosity instead of criticism. Understanding that testing boundaries is part of the process, not a sign of failure. When teens see that we can handle their resistance without shutting them down, they start to believe that maybe, just maybe, this new label fits, and they begin to try it on for themselves. Here's my final thought. We all need a new script. Leadership doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in relationship, in uncomfortable conversations, in the space between what was and what could be. If we want our teens to write a new story for themselves, we have to offer them a new script, one where leadership isn't about perfection or popularity, but about being seen, trusted, and stretched. And that starts with us, changing the way we see them, respond to them, and believe in them, even when they push back, especially when they push back, because that's when real growth begins.